Hi, welcome. Good morning, wherever you are. Maybe it's afternoon, maybe it's evening, in any part of the world. We're going to be doing my collective a little different because I'm going to start inviting astrology and what's going on in the world today. So this will give us like a fragment of today's energy that's actually happening in the planetary aspects, so that we can go about understanding what to kind of expect today, or what may resonate today, or what to be aware of today. And not only will I just tap into the astrology planetary aspects of what's going on today, I will also piggyback with some tarot, so maybe in some sense it will resonate to the energy of the planetary aspects, okay? So I did a lot of research, and everything that I am saying has been researched and found on the web. So I just kind of pull it all together for myself with planetary aspects. So here we will go. All right. So as we are in the energy of the sun, which is 18 degrees to Aquarius, this is going to be affecting the 5th house and the 11th house. So this placement indicates a highly progressive, unconventional, and intellectual driven personality. It is focused on innovation, social progress, and fostering unconventional ideas today. So today there's going to be a strong need to communicate, learn, and exchange ideas. So you may be very pulled to wanting to learn something new, or looking at different views or perspectives. This is focusing on improving society. It's fighting for justice. It is also acting as unconventional reformers. So you're going to see a lot of that today, especially, of course, we've been seeing a lot of this fighting for justice on social media. And you're going to be seeing a lot more of that, whether it's through, in the streets, or people using their voice. This is known for needing freedom in space, okay? They can appear detached or aloof in personal relationships, while remaining fiercely loyal to their friends and ideas. So a lot of people are going to be stubborn regarding their beliefs. So this is going to be affecting the 5th house and the 11th house, which the 5th house is connected to love and creation, and the 11th house being in the sense of our wishes, dreams, and communities and circles, okay? The moon, 24 degrees to Libra, which is affecting the 4th house and the 7th house. This indicates deeply relationship-oriented, diplomatic, and harmony-seeking personality. It is a strong focus on partnerships, fairness, and aesthetics. This specific placement often suggests need to find balance, sometimes at the expense of one's own needs to avoid conflict. So this is the traits of this energy today. There's going to be a strong desire for balance, mutual understanding, and shared artistic appreciation in relationships. There might be some indecisiveness, a primary challenge with this placement, and its tendencies to avoid conflict to keep peace. Another thing is the collective shall feel highly emotional and sensitive to how others respond to them, with a need for affirmations and relationships, okay? This is also a need to balance one's own desires with the needs of partners, especially in legal, artistic, and close personal relationships, okay? We're moving on to Mercury, where Pisces is in the planet Mercury right now, which is affecting it. We are intuitively you're going to be very, oh my God, when I say highly intuitive, I'm saying the collective is going to feel highly intuitive today. And this is going to want you to prioritize feeling and this is what Spirit is saying. Prioritize feeling and intuition over strict analytical logic. So there is going to be a form of highly sensitive communication words that are deep, emotional, personal, and sometimes mysterious or poetic. So you might see a lot of people becoming more emotional, speaking on their needs, their wants, and desires, even on social media. Okay. So this is going to also, your emotional radar is going to be open and on today, and that's going to pick up on all the undercurrents. So you may notice that you're just picking up on the environment and people in general, at work, family, home. Close the door. Thank you. You may notice that, you're picking up these feelings and the atmospheric shifts. So your collective sensitivity, and this is for everybody because this is the planetary aspects that's actually happening right now. So a lot of people will feel like they're picking up on just any type of energy. Okay. So this helps work through imagination and fantasy. It often finds truth through arts, music, or dreams rather than direct linear conversation. So it functions well with metaphor storytelling. So you might see a lot of people become more, you're seeing this now where there is a lot of people that are storytelling right now, whether it's in politics, whether it's in culture, whether it's just, over any certain topic. You're going to see a lot more people become storytellers and understanding its complex and their emotional situations. Now, being at the first degree of Pisces, this Mercury is in the critical threshold of the sign. It is leaving the logical, rational, and structured world of Aquarius and diving into the emotional ocean of Pisces. I mean, can you get any deeper than that? This can make the native feel a need to translate pure feelings into words, which can sometimes be overwhelming or confusing, yet highly empathic. So the difficult situation that might occur with that is that there's going to be a fine line between imagination, fantasy, reality, and it can be blurry. Okay. The focus on the big picture can lead to the missing small essential details, on too much emotional baggage from others, requiring a period of silence or retreat to recharge. A Mercury in Pisces is designed to feel rather than think. In the traditional sense, it thrives when using intuition for problem solving and in creative, compassionate environments. It indicates a focus on harmony, balance, and partnership. So the relationship focuses with a Libra moon are often driven by a need for partnership and harmony in their relationship. So there's going to be a need. I mean, even though we can become aloof, emotional, there's still going to be a need for nurturing. There's still going to be a need for communication. There's still going to be a need for compromise. Okay. So there's going to be a struggle with that. Indecisiveness, fear of being alone could be very active right now, and fear of making the wrong choices today. So there's a tendency to avoid conflict at all costs, sometimes at the expense of our own. So we're going into the planet Venus aspect, 26 degrees of Aquarius, which is going to affect the 2nd house and the 11th house. It indicates a highly independent, intellectual, and unconventional approach to love and values. So love and values are on the forefront right now. And this favors friendships with romance, progressive ideas, and a need for intellectual stimulation before emotional or physical contact. So a lot of people are going to want intellectual stimulation, even though with the Aquarius and in the senses of it being in Pisces, we're gonna need the communication is gonna need, we're gonna need communication. We're just needy right now. We're just gonna be very needy. And it's kind of contrasting with the energy of Venus, because we want relationships, yet we're in that sense of intellectual stimulation, maybe not so physical or emotional, but yet we're in that emotional state. So that's where it was kind of drawing the line of muddiness and reality and all of that. So as far as love, relationships are built on shared intellectual interests, humanitarian goals, and freedom. So I feel like if you're in a relationship, these could be the goals. If you're going in an unconventional approach, it's a need for non-restricted partnerships. So there are some people that may not want to feel held down, and there could be that contrast, if that makes sense, with others. Affection is expressed through communication. So again, it's going to be more of a communicative stint more than a physical one. And it's community and progressive forward thinking. The late degree often indicates a refined, mature, or crystallized expression of Aquarius energy. Freedom and detachment are fully integrated into personal values. How this has an influence, it's high value on individuality. So there's going to be a lot of people who are just want to be liberated, you know. Social justice and intellectual, progressive, or humanitarian pursuits. There's going to be people that do not like possessiveness. You know, I don't want to be controlled. I feel a lot of people are wanting unconventional relationships right now where they don't feel control or the need. And if you're highly empathic, intuitive, and needy like that, that can bring contrast with relationships, okay? As far as Mars, 11 degrees Aquarius, this is going to affect the first house and the 11th house. This represents a highly intellectual, innovative, and humanitarian approach to action, conflict, and desire, with Mars being the energy and drive in the fixed area of Aquarius, innovation, and community. So actions are often guided by logic, a desire for social change, and a need for independence. So in this planetary aspect today, you're going to see people who are seeking independence. So it is going to show a lot of desire to break free from traditional and implement new forward-thinking ideas. These are trailblazers in technology, engineering, and social reform. So as far as the strategy, anger is experienced like lightning. It's sudden, intense, and quickly forgotten rather than emotional or personal outbursts. So I feel like today, in the planetary aspects, knowing we're emotional, empathic, and then we're wanting liberation and freedom, there is a sense of a strategic approach to be calm, all right? And strategic rather than irrational and angry and upset, all right? There's going to be a lot of passion that's ignited, you know, and within our signs, also within the need for social justice and equality and collective freedom. And that's a lot of the energy today where people are fighting for freedom, but there is a sense of needing to approach it in a different way. So, this is a lot of intellectual thinking rather than physical pursuits. And you're going to, there is going to be a lot of detaching from feelings of iration, or alternatively becoming overly argumentative. We just need to avoid becoming overly argumentative to make a point. I feel like that's what Spirit is kind of saying. Give me 1 second. My grandbabies are in the background. So Jupiter being in Cancer, which is in retrograde right now, and this happened on November 11, 2025, and it will continue to retrograde until March 10th. So this transit is signifying, because Jupiter is exalted in Cancer, meaning is the most powerful and compassionate focus on growth through nurturing our home, our family, and emotional security. So rather than outward rapid expansion, this is calling us to pause. That encourages you to reflect on how we are growing. It is a time to reconsider our beliefs, our goals, and what's the definition of success. This is also reevaluating our emotional foundations, family relationships, and living situations. You may be redecorating. There could be some people who want to redecorate. There is some energies that may want to move, or repairing bonds with family or friends. This is also a time to nourish ourselves, not just others. It is also saying it is important to take the opportunity to heal old emotions and stop overgiving. we can be very overgiving. So this is a time to also nurture ourselves. As far as needing to liberate ourselves, it is time to nurture ourselves. And this could be affecting the 4th and 9th house. This is a time where Spirit is saying to slow down. And it's going to give us a 4-month window to ensure that this is sustainable. We may be revisiting the past and situations that may occur. We may be initiating new projects, but revising them and reordering them rather than making one. This is a sense also to check in on your loved ones right now and make sure people feel safe and supportive. Sometimes the Cancer energy in this energy of today can make us emotional or protective. And that's something that Spirit is asking us to balance. So there is a sense of needing patience and trusting that the softness of the energy to heal rather than pushing the immediate results. Okay. Saturn, Pisces is in Saturn, which is affecting our 9th house and 12th house. It's a powerful karmic culmination, signaling the final intense lesson of a 3-year cycle, which is from 2023 to 2026. It is ending, releasing, and having a spiritual maturity. It's forcing confrontation and overdue responsibilities regarding boundaries, faith, and emotional, spiritual, or creative pursuits. The key aspects of this, it's going to be intense completion to do or die lessons. We're being told to let go of old structures, emotional baggage, outdated boundaries that no longer serve us, especially in preparation for our new 29-year cycle. The Pisces energy today, combining spiritual maturity with practical action. Its lessons revolve around forgiveness, handling grief, and navigating spiritual responsibility. The timing on this occurs as Saturn moves towards entering Aries in early 2026. Its meaning lessons may be intensely felt before the transition. So this is what the energy of Saturn is asking us to do. It's asking us to let go of boundaries that don't serve us, letting go of grief, forgiving from the heart space. It's saying to grow up, basically. Uranus, Taurus being in Uranus, which is affecting the 11th house and the 2nd house. This is stations direct and early February 2026, which is this month, making the final intense phase of 7-year revolutionary transit. Now listen to this one. There's a sign of the bull. This is very informative. It kind of lets us know how we're going about. This is deep structural changes regarding personal values, financial systems, and environmental stability. It represents a closing movement aimed at breaking outdated, restrictive habits to embrace authentic, forward-thinking changes. So you could be in that energy of now or never. It's closing long-term 8-year narrative or upheaval in earthly, financial, material matters. This is tangible breakthroughs, allowing for a quantum leap away from old safety zones into new, innovative realities. Over the past 7 years, this transit has reshaped relationships to security, land, and resources. This emphasizes that the structural overhaul of life is reaching its final pivotal and defining moment before moving into towards Gemini. This period forces a final reckoning what was built or broken during this transit, encouraging a move toward radical self-authenticity. This stationary direct phase is often marked by sudden, unexpected events as eureka moments. Now, this is another one that's kind of crazy because it's kind of letting us be aware how this energy is moving the collective through as a whole, especially in the 11th house, Aquarius energy. So Neptune entering to the 1st house and 8th house it's marking a major 13 to 14 year astrologic, forgive me if I'm reading this wrong, astrological transit that began on January 26th of this year. And it will last until 2039. This shift moves the planet of dreams, illusions, and spirituality from the emotional water of Pisces, which we are definitely in today, into fiery action of Aries. Okay? This is the first time Neptune has been in Aries since the 1860s. This is roughly the American Civil War era. It also is the shift. It transitions from Pisces, where it was from 2011 to 2025, to Aries, moving from a focus on dissolution, empathy, to action. So right now we're in empathy, and when due time comes into Aries season, we're going to be pushed into action. And this is where a lot of new beginnings, especially individualism, will be coming forth. So this is like, I'm going to narrate everything we talked about after this. So this is going to redefine personal identity, pioneer new spiritual paths, challenge established belief system. It influences how we are use our agency, encouraging a move away from passive energy toward active conscience. So we're in passive conscious right now, and we're moving into active conscience engagement. So this is going to affect all zodiac signs, but is particularly potent for cardinal signs: Aries, Cancer, Libra, Capricorn. It often highlights a spiritual rebirth day, merging fiery drive with artistic or mystical inspiration. On February 20th of this year, Neptune aligns with Saturn in Aries, making a significant transformative moment for societal structures. This is going to be a redefinition in our lives. Now, Pluto in Aquarius. This is a signal of a 20-year era, 2023 to 2043. There's going to be an intense transformative shift towards decentralization, technology revolution, and societal reconstructing. We're moving away from hierarchical, traditional, forgive me if I said that wrong, structures of Pluto in Capricorn. So this is going to put placement focusing on we, the people. This period emphasizes rapid technology advancements, AI, space exploration, and community-driven moments. We, the people era. Pluto in Aquarius represents a shift towards horizontal organizational structures, decentralized power, and a focus on human rights, generational power. How society evolves over the next 2 decades, individually, impact. It is the transit that deeply affects us with personal planets or angles of our ascendant or midheaven in early Aquarius, Leo, Scorpio, or Taurus, forcing personal reinvention and authenticity. So Pluto was in Aquarius from 1778 to 1798, with major revolutions in the writing of the U.S. Constitution. Woo, that was a lot of information. That was a lot of research that I did, finding these are the planetary aspects that are affecting us February 7th. So, narrating back to everything that I informed. We are basically working through our emotions right now. We're working through this sense of like what doesn't serve us, what is in alignment, what we need to forgive, what we need to let go. It's calling us to be patient, even though like we're all in that need to be, we're needy, we need nurturing. We need to feel safe, there's that energy of needing to feel safe, making sure our family and our friends are okay. This is the energy that's also, it's kind of pushing us into being authentic. That's why you keep hearing that sense of authenticity. Right now in today's energy, we can be very aloof. There could be, especially just people in design of their planetary charts, some can be very empathic and needy. And those who don't have water placements may feel like needing to like be free, be liberated, feel like not like possessiveness or, you know, clingy, if that makes sense. So there's could be that conflict with relationships today in the planetary aspects. Also too, like I said, there's going to be a lot more storytelling. There's a lot of people who need to use their voice. This is more of an intellectual war we're in right now, more than a physical one. But yet, when we move into that energy of Aries this year, it's going to go from logical to physical, or emotional to physical. So there's going to be a lot of shifts and changes, where it was saying like, this is when the Civil War happened, where we are the people, where the Constitution was written. So there's going to be a lot of changes within the next 20 years. Okay, so I hope that you guys stuck around, and I know it may have sounded so textbook savvy when I was reading, but I did a lot of research on the planetary aspects today, and hopefully that makes sense to what's going on in the world, within you, within your family, within your dynamics, within work, within faith. It's also asking us to grow up, okay? Mature-wise, spiritual-wise, grow up and forgive and let go, because we cannot carry this energy into the next, you know, foundation of what this world is being built on. There's going to be a new foundation. So there's going to be a lot of all the social injustice. We're going into we the people era. We're going into freedom, liberation, you know, and this is as a collective, as a whole. Okay, so I hope that helped you. Now I'm going to put the second half of the reading into tarot, how this can help you, how this relates to the energy today, and personally or just collectively. Remember, this isn't a personal reading. It is a collective reading, but if it resonates, it resonates, okay? So if you're empathic, oh my God, please take care of yourself. This is a time for empaths to truly, truly, truly make sure they're taking care of themselves, because they're just pulling, and it can feel very heavy. So this is a time where you really need to do your self-care, and maybe in some senses take a time out, you know, because it's just too much energy that's happening right now, you know. All right. It makes sense, you know, you may see this energy today, because this is today, February 7th, when you hear this information on the planetary aspects. But as far as the tarot reading, that can be collective, and anytime you tap into it, okay? So thank you for your patience with me. Thank you for listening if you stuck around and listened to the whole reading. And if you didn't, you can always go back and listen to the whole thing. But now we're going to tap into our tarot and see what it has to say for today. Okay. All right. You guys have been great. Thank you so much. There's a reward here. So I feel like Spirit is helping us focus on our goals. I mean, a lot of us do want to feel rewarded. And I feel like in that sense, you see how she's carrying that dove. She's carrying that dove with love, peace, and just calmness, if that makes sense. So the reward is if like we just have patience and we just kind of like hold ourselves down, hold others down. I feel like there's a sense of being rewarded. So you may come across feathers right now. You may be coming across feathers or needing in a sense to work with feathers. And what I mean by that, maybe in a sense to do bridas, you know, just kind of sweep the energy away. That's another energy. Spirit says you could be like sweeping away energy for yourself today, because if you are empathic, you want to like let go of it. You know what I mean? All right, let's see what these are saying today. Yeah, I did a lot of research. I was very proud of myself from the research that I did last night to kind of pull it together to explain what is going on. This is travel. There is a travel happening for any or all. There is a sense of, maybe again, this has to do with liberation, liberating ourselves, or a need to get away. We got the number 10 here, so there is a new beginning that's going to be happening. And I see hands. There's partnerships here, okay? Whether in love, whether in business, friendship, or family, okay? That's beautiful. All right. I want to use my angel number deck because for whatever reason, it's been hitting with me lately. So you could be seeing the number 1010 as of lately. And again, the planetary aspect today is basically liberation right now. Ooh, 111, intuition. Remember, we're very intuitive and empathic today. Very intuitive. I mean, we can't like lie to ourselves anymore. Whatever we feel and sense, it's very, most likely very highly accurate, especially if you are very connected to your spidey senses, you know. All right. So this is a time to realize your long-held ideas. You're on the right path to turning your dreams into reality. Remember, this is the time where we were like, if we have projects, we're thinking of like how to not push forward with them just because we want them done now, but reanalyzing things. We're redefining them right now, and we're turn them into reality. The right people, circumstances, and resources are coming together to support you. Happiness and new opportunities are within reach. Trust the journey to have faith in the process. So like I said, you could be very much wanting to quit. If you're in a job that you're not happy with, or a career you're not happy with, or just something that you do 9 to 5, how you make a living, you could be very in that sense of like not wanting to do it anymore. You know, you're just feeling not pulled to it. This because we're letting go of things that are just not authentically serving our purpose. So a lot of us could want to quit our jobs, maybe go from one career to the next. I mean, come on, we got to be smart about things, you know, or just changing it all together. Okay. But this is what Spirit is saying. Once you get that insight, once you have clarity on this, there is serenity coming forth, harmony coming forth, self-awareness. This is unconditional love. And with that being the Cancer energy, which is in Jupiter, in Cancer, which is in retrograde, we're very needy and we just want love. Especially if you're a water placement, you just want love right now. Like you just need that support, that like everything's going to be okay, you know. But if you're not getting it from a human being, you could just be getting it from source. You know what I mean? Another one popped up. These are the readjustments that I was talking about. This is saying we're going to overcome these obstacles. Okay. This, whether it's connected to romance, soulmates, support, renewal, reconnection, affection. Which planet was, I think, with Venus. I think that we're looking at our relationships, because the Venus energy, it's affecting our 2nd house and the 11th house within our communities or circles, right? So there could be some readjustments happening in your circles, your relationships. This is like, you know, how we approach things. So your self-control is strong enough to set things right. A new romantic or platonic friend is on the horizon, along with the opportunity to reconnect and start anew with someone from your past. Trust that everything will fall into place as you embrace these positive energies. This doesn't have to do with love. This could just be friendships or partnerships or business opportunities, okay? That's someone that you may have already known, okay? Ooh, that's 1616, okay? So Aries energy, even just stepping into this energy with the Virgo, Mercury, of the Alchemist, okay? So the Alchemist is in this energy right now. Ooh, I love this reading. Like, it's so connected. Okay, let's go ahead and move forward, okay? All right, so what can we see? For us as individuals, okay? So what we're seeing with you This is very feminine energy. We got the moon, of course. Cancer, the energy of need and want. It's like we want things to push forward. We're ready. This is the travel card. This is the time where we're like emotionally, we're just like, we need to get this done. I'm so motivated for this new beginning. I'm so like, I just want these roads to be open. So in the Eight of Wands aspect, I'm seeing this as, even though like we can be emotional, I feel like there's a sense of needing patience, you know? And this patience is what's going to help move that energy forward, because this is why the planetary aspects are asking us to like really take care of our energy, really be mindful of what is we're holding and what we need to let go of, so that we can manifest this shift and change, you know, for love, for family, for, you know, the ancestors, for our roots, for culture, for our higher self, you know, for the hidden knowledge, you know. There's a lot of these things that Spirit is, you know, this could be you right now, in senses. So your intuition, you could be just really connected to Source right now. Source is not like letting, like I'm telling you, when I say intuition, you're intuitive. Them downloads are coming in like nobody's business. Spirit is like, hey, you need to know this. Hey, this is what's happening here. Hey, this. So there's a lot of communication here. But I feel too that we're kind of trying to read between the lines of communication, like what is false, what is real, you know. And there could be like, you know, these things that just keep, because I'm not an upside down reader. This is like just saying we're making things move. Intuitively, I just feel like you're just allowing things to flow, if that makes sense, you know. So there could be communication also coming from a woman as well, okay? Yay, I love that. Okay, finances, how this is affecting us financially. Because there is a reward coming up, and we got the Fool. This is that liberation energy. We're liberating, just like I said. Like, this could be a new job. This could be a new career move. This could be entrepreneurship. So finances, it's telling me like you could be very optimistic, because this is the optimism card, especially when it comes to the Fool energy. What Spirit is saying is be open. Be open to new money. Be open to new career paths. Be open. I mean, it's like saying having faith, you know, walk by faith, not by sight. We have the Fool energy of like also saying, let's not be a fool of how we spend our money, you know. So there is a new beginning coming in with your finances. This is also saying there's potential in finances. This is faith that, you know, our finances will increase, that we will get paid more, make more, be blessed more abundantly. Okay. Like you could be very much wanting to attract things as well. So being very optimistic when it comes to our finances, but not being risky, you know, to put us under. So it's kind of like balance, if that makes sense, you know? All right. Financial freedom is what I'm hearing. All right. When it comes to our love life, whether you're in a relationship or not, I'm going to emphasize on both. This is the relationship aspect. The relationship aspect, I feel like some of us can be very like emotional. Of course, naturally, some of us are very empathic and emotional. Maybe it's the emphasis of, you know, desire or needing love, you know. Also too, I'm getting like just nurturing it. There's a need to nurture, and this doesn't mean that this is happening in a relationship, because again, not all relationships are perfect. But when I see the Queen of Cups, there is a sense to love our near and dear, if that makes sense, or make us feel safe, if that makes sense, or just love each other, you know. If your relationship is, you know, foundationed, you know, you're being very compassionate with your loved one, you know. There is a sense of like focusing on loyalty and our needs. But if this is a negative sense in a relationship, there could be an obsessive energy within a relationship, and how can I put it? Obsession or emotional or insecure energy or codependency. And this is the energy that Spirit says some of us will be in. So just depending on our own planetary aspects, it's going to be different for each relationship. If you have a healthy relationship, it's going to be very loving, caring, loyalty, calm, focusing on security, but if it's not a very foundational relationship, this is where the planetary aspects could be affecting us to see if this aligns to each other or it doesn't. And so we could be very emotional, insecure, or just codependent. As far as single, I feel like this could be if someone has done a self-healing journey where they've matured, they know what they want, they know what they need. I feel like they could be very open to love and mirroring that and wishing on that, on the senses of a partnership. Maybe one day I'll get married, one day I'll have children, or maybe one day, like, you are very open. This is showing me that you have matured in the senses of your own self-care, your self-love for yourself. Sometimes just being single is okay. Like, you just seem like, I'm okay being single because I love myself, if you're in that healthy state of mind, like you're still creating a life for yourself before, you find yourself into a relationship, But this is if you are still dealing with the negative senses of love, it's because you're still healing, okay? You're still healing. Maybe in some senses you're too emotional to get into a relationship, and there's still some insecurities to work on when it comes to love. So there is some, this is where Spirit is saying this needs to be healed still, okay? All right. So we're moving forward with our family, and not everybody's connected to family. Some are not. If you are a family, I feel like there could be a new beginning within the family. I feel like there's a sense of happiness and joy, and maybe there's, children involved, or you're meeting someone's family. This could also be like you guys are having birthday parties or celebrations, or there's a new birth in the family. This energy is showing, in a sense, a new stage that the family could be, entering into as far as family. Maybe it's like a renewal or forgiving each other, being creative, with each other, and this all could be like a spiritual connection with family, whether it's a born, bloodline family, or a spirit family, like you connect with people with soul tribes and stuff like that. So I feel like there's a rebirth within the family, an awakening with the family, and there could be deeper connections. But if you're still healing and senses of this, there is a sense of loving yourself, working on self, in order to forgive family dynamics, dysfunction, connections, grief, trauma. There is that sense of still healing. And this is why the energy aspects are asking us to forgive, so we don't hold this into the future, if that makes sense. Okay. Now we're going to move into health. It shows me in the star energy that health means working on flow. So you have the star energy in the upright, which is telling me your health is looking up. There is hope, there is a sense of tranquility when it comes to your health. You're drinking a lot of water. Maybe you're eating better, the star, you have star quality when it comes to your health. And so there is a renewed power and strength. Maybe you're working on your body, your mind, your spirit. So this is what Spirit is recommending. If you're not, Spirit is saying with the star energy, there's always hope for our health, for, a better future, So yeah, don't feel hopeless. There could be, some people feel a lack of faith when it comes to their health, or hopelessness, or they feel like, I'm never going to get better, or, but that's mindset and perspective. This is why self-care is very important, mind, body, spirit, when it comes to our health. So, remember, we can be inspiration to others, whether we move forward with positivity, faith, and healing. So there's a sense with health of rejuvenation. So you could be doing a lot of healthcare of rejuvenation. Okay, let's move forward. The barriers that Spirit is saying, like, sometimes we have to let go of old barriers that don't serve us, and that could be with communities, it could be with family. Maybe there is barriers against jealousy or gossip or just evil eye, if that makes sense. Yeah. So the barriers we have could be a feminine energy. We're putting barriers amongst feminine energy is what I'm picking up. You know, and generally when we see the Three of Cups in a very negative state, that's more a sense of like third party situations, you know, or how can I put it? Putting the barrier outlooks on negative people. If we're putting barriers on negative people, maybe in a sense we're trying to take the time out from like groups, if that makes sense. These are the barriers we're trying to do. Like maybe we need to stop partying if that makes sense, you know. But the barriers could be again from evil eye. It could be from jealousy. It could be from, you know, gossip, or people who neglect you. You just kind of put those barriers around them, you know, just letting them go. But Spirit is saying, like, if there's barriers that you don't need anymore, there's a sense of letting them go, okay? All right, let's move forward. The advice from Spirit, how to move forward in this reading. So Spirit is saying, wow, to accept these new beginnings that are going to be coming in, the advice is to kind of continue to plant these seeds of new beginnings, whether it's in health, wealth. This is a beautiful energy because I see building, you know, I see building for the future. So don't give up is what Spirit is saying. The advice is to, like, you know, continue on being ambitious, you know, continue to focus on knowledge, like knowledge quest, you know, receiving knowledge, you know, continue working on manifesting goals. But what I mean manifesting, like readjusting things and reanalyzing things so that we can put them into action. So come spring, that those manifestations could come, you know. Spirit is saying, like, to continue being dedicated and grounded. Continue to educate yourself. Continue confirmation. Continue to be open to learning new skills. Continue to focus, you know. Continue on all those, like, follow through on your dreams, aspirations, healing journey, you know, because it's almost like you see yourself as the Queen of Pentacles, you know, and the Queen of Pentacles is a very wealthy, very grounded, very well off, very mature energy. They're very luxurious lifestyle type of energy. They're very earthly, and continue nurturing, because that is like the mother of earth, if that makes sense, you know. Spirit is saying, like, you can continue just trying to do your best in the energies of what's happening, you know. All right, and future aspects here, for future aspects. We got Three of Pentacles. So I see building. Three of Pentacles is coming together with community. It is coming together with co-workers, family. It's coming together with others to try to build something, you know. It is definitely helping each other. So I do see in some senses of support, if that makes sense. So future aspects, I get that you can be team working with others or collaborating with others. I see learning. You could be educating, learning something of value, you know, like a new skill or craftsmanship type of energy. Do avoid disharmony, or whatever is misaligning will fall away from you. And in some senses, some people are meant to work alone, but then there is some people that are meant to come together. Okay. So again, remember I was saying there is that need to start over. You could feel like a need to start something new. Travel's coming in, intuition, readjustment. So we got, I'm going to give you an angel number here. We got beautiful energies here. We got a lot of, wow. So we have the energies that are holding this reading is the moon, the fool, and the star, which is telling me that there's a lot of faith, renewal. There's a lot of this wish and dream type of energy here. You know, positive feminine energy, being optimistic, open, you know, sky's the limit, you know, and not allowing your emotions to control you, taking care of yourself, healing yourself. Just allowing things to flow, being led, being guided, you know, by the star quality energy. Queen of Cups energy, definitely, you know, falling in love with life again, falling in love with you, falling in love with others, you know, being a nurturer, caring, giving, community, mother, you know, type of energy. So I'm going to give you an angel number here. This is going to be the angel number for you today. 139. Let's see what this angel number means today, because there was a reward here. 8139 indicates that possibly to change your life is if only you are willing to work hard. And that's the energy of what Spirit was saying. Like the advice is to continue dedicating yourself and working hard at whatever it is that you're trying to reach. Okay. So that's exactly what that meant. All right, guys, let me just close this reading out now. So I hope the planetary aspects of today may make you understand this reading a little more. Whenever you tap in to the collective reading, it is for you. But wow, there is a swift action that's happening, and this is going to create high vibes for you. Okay. Wow, there is a new beginning happening for the collective. Very much so. And this is a celebration. There could be conflict before celebration, but I'm getting a celebration coming in. Let's see. And knowing that what you did, practice makes perfect. Okay, I hope you guys enjoyed this. I know this was a different approach to compare to my other collective readings, but I mean, hopefully someone, you know, sticks around, listens to it. Maybe it will help someone understand, you know, the day of February 7th. Maybe it will help you educate on how the planets are working with us right now or working against us. And also just help with divine guidance of this reading and how it connects to today's energy as well. All right, guys, until next time. Love you. Bye-bye.